Hello, IB English students, and welcome to the Quarter 2 Week 10 Day 1 video. This video is designed for those students who are absent from our live Zoom class. So the first thing you're going to need to do is open one of these two assignments. If you didn't do this writing goal setting activity with me and you were supposed to, and you missed your opportunity this week, there is a self-paced one that you can do if you go back to last week's materials and click on the video for day 1 and then watch the second video to complete that activity. The other option you have is to do this with me during office hours from 2:45 to 3:15. You should be clicking, everyone else, right, should be clicking on the perfume context assignment. As a reminder, everything you say, do, or type is recorded, so please keep it school appropriate. And as always, there's no saving, downloading, or taking pictures of our class today or ever. All right, if you take a look at our agenda, first I want to review Wednesday's schedule because it's been changed. You should have received information about that, but I just want to reiterate that. I'm going to introduce the perfume context assignment, and then I would have went into the writing goal setting stuff for that final group that needs to go. And once you finish the context assignment, I'm going to show you the first set of reading questions so you can begin reading the first chunk of perfume. So Wednesday's schedule looks like this, right? Our classes only meet for a half hour, right? It's periods 1, 2, 3, and 4. So all students are required to attend periods 1 through 4. And then there's opportunity and an extended lunch for watching the inauguration. There will be Zoom rooms set up for people who want to watch that together, as well as optional opportunities and asynchronous learning. Some of them are about student service learning hours. Some of them are about just kind of helping you process things and answering any questions you might have about the inauguration, etc. So please look for the official notification about that in your MCPS emails. All right. So the context assignment for Perfume, Story of a Murderer, right, looks like this. First, there's just some key facts, right? The full title, what it was originally published in German, when it was written, etc. The genre is different than what we've read so far, right? It falls under the categories of horror, suspense, magical realism, and black comedy. If you take a look down at these directions, you're going to view either the PDF of the Prezi presentation or the actual presentation itself. I put in here, if it works, because I'm having some trouble sharing it at times. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So if this link to the actual Prezi presentation doesn't work, you still have the PDF of the slides so you can look at. But as you watch through that, it's about horror conventions, and you're going to need to look up the definitions of magical realism and black comedy, like do a Google search. And then answer the questions below, right? And you'll notice that it says, it gives you like kind of stopping points, right? There's the question here, and there's a space for you to fill in your answer. Once you've finished with that, right, I've posted the resources for you to begin working on reading the book Perfume, right? It is a longer one, and you're going to be reading longer chapters, so the sooner you start, the better. The PDF has been posted. If you click on the hyperlink there, there's also an audio book that you can watch or listen to on YouTube. If you click there, it's the first of 3 parts. So you may need to get for the other parts when you get later on into this book. And then the first set of reading questions I've hyperlinked here. For now, you're going to need to make a copy. Once the semester changes, I can't post an assignment in here and then have it transfer over to second semester. So that's why there's just a copy of it now. If you're going to start working on those questions, this is what I would suggest you do, right? Make a copy of it. And then when we make the transition to second semester, you can just copy and paste your answers into that official document and then kind of keep going from there. If you look at the questions, there's basically 2 parts. The first part looks like this. It says, use full sentences to answer all of the questions, but you only need quotes to support the interpretive questions for each chapter, right? So each chapter has a literal question, interpretive, and a global question. If you just look very quickly at a breakdown, right? The literal questions are just designed to see if you read carefully enough, right? Were you paying attention, and can you spit out something that is specifically stated within the text. The interpretive questions are asking you to demonstrate your ability to use quotes to support your interpretation of the text. So this is something that's not explicitly given. Like the answers to the interpretive questions are not stated directly in the text. It's up to you to kind of read between the lines to figure out those answers. And you just need to make sure that whatever your answer is, that you support it using a quote. Okay, and then there's the global questions, right? These are designed so that you can link, it's testing your ability. Can you link these events to the common human experience, right? And a little more closely, can you connect it to a line of inquiry, which is where the second half of the assignment comes in. I'm sorry, let me go back for a second. With the global questions, right? It's asking you, you don't have to use specific examples from the text to answer it. You would be looking for more like examples from real life, right? Things that you've seen on the news, things you've seen around the world, things you've seen maybe even in your everyday lives yourselves and your own experiences. A way for you to connect with the text. When you look at part 2, this is similar to what we did for The Awakening and A Doll's House, right? Where I asked you to look for like different parts or different lines of inquiry and kind of write down notes about those. This is similar, except I've done it more of like a fill in the blank kind of process. So the question is, where does the text discuss the general line of inquiry topics listed below, right? Like identity, culture, creativity, etc. You're going to complete 2 of these bullet points. It doesn't matter to me which 2 they are, but you just need to make sure you're using material from chapters 1 to 25. So if you look at it, right, in the text, Perfume, Story of a Murderer, Patrick Süskind uses insert whichever element of diddles, right, diction, imagery, details, language, or syntax, to develop a message about identity, right, semicolon. Süskind wants the reader to know or understand, and then insert that message about identity that he has for his readers. Then you would insert your quote with a lead-in and attribution to support your claim. Oh, I'm sorry. It should say lead-in or attribution to support your claim. And please make sure you're putting in parentheses at the end the citation, right? The author's last name and a page number. So the purpose of doing this, right, is to encourage you to think about these lines of inquiry topics as you read through the book, right? Not afterwards and try to kind of remember scenes, well after you've read them, but in the process of reading them. So if anything comes up about creativity, jump down to the bottom of this document and kind of throw in that quote, and then maybe think about what is that message the author's trying to say about it. If something comes in about perspective, right, how somebody views things versus somebody else viewing things, etc. The secondary kind of purpose, or this like the bonus, is completing these, especially because this is going to be the same format for all 3 sets of the book questions, especially if you do, for example, let's say you do culture, right? If you have one of these bullet points for chapters 1 to 25, and then for chapters 26 to 50, and et cetera, on the last chapter, it'll make writing your higher level essay much easier, right? You don't have to keep sticking to the same 2 areas that you find, right? But it might just make writing your essay much easier. And then we're going to do an activity where everyone will be able to kind of share out some of these ideas. So something you have written down, maybe about creativity, your classmates didn't notice, right? So you'd be sharing with them, but maybe one of your classmates wrote down something about representation, right? And you didn't get that. So you would be able to kind of fill in that information for yourselves coming from them. All right. And at this point, I would have went to breakout rooms to start the next activity, which is for these individuals and the ones behind this thing who haven't done the presentation with me yet. But let me fast track real quick. Okay. So but that's everything that you would be working on, right? You would continue to work on Perfume context assignment. That's due before 3 p.m. on Saturday. Student support this week is available from 2:45 to 3:15 on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, right? There is no student support on Wednesday because of the inauguration and those other activities. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in class soon.